There are a lot of, we take for granted a lot of things in the U.S. A, that people are philanthropic. That's not the case around much of the world. B, that we have this wonderful Good Samaritan protection law, which really is an underpinning that allows for an organization or an individual that donates food, that if they believe that it's fit for human consumption, and there's a presumption that they've done due inquiry, that if they do distribute it and somebody is rendered ill or, heaven forbid, dies, that there's some legal installation under the law if everybody's kind of been playing with a common set of appropriate standards. That doesn't exist almost anywhere in the world. So it's an enormous impediment to convincing people. Even the large companies that will donate in the U.S., they have a different point of view outside the U.S., and the prepared food industry, the restaurant industry, has been reluctant to participate, frankly, even in the U.S., because there's other critical factors that they don't want to rely on Good Samaritan protection. So that's one major issue that we deal with. The other several are, we get a nice tax deduction here, whether we donate product or donate cash to support a food bank. Again, in most places in the world, one or both of those things are not possible, or they're not done in such a generous fashion. So while we're not an advocacy organization, we found ourselves being asked to be kind of a domain expert. In fact, one of my colleagues will be going to Hong Kong, which is a place that until recently didn't even admit that they had poverty or hunger. And they're actually, because we have a lot of big buildings here. So, people just don't necessarily, governments don't necessarily embrace that concept for all kinds of cultural reasons, but we've had a food bank operating there for a while, and they're actually sitting down with relevant regulators, and we've pulled together documents. They're coming out, they're wrestling this issue in the EU right now, and we're involved in those discussions. And a big report was put out by one of the FAO research organizations that talks about the massive change that Good Samaritan and tax supportive legislation would have to reduce this food waste topic. I'm a little bit off your topic, but there is a regulatory path. But besides that, what was the concept? The private
politics.
Private politics. To me, as Daniel was talking about that, I said that's the whole reason NGOs were created, to supplement, enhance, and leverage government and policy organizations that couldn't do all the work themselves for whatever reason, either bandwidth or expertise, et cetera. So really NGOs to me have been the lubricant around the world to make on-the-ground solutions happen that then almost move into being codified if they've done a good job. Course of dealing. We have a partner in Egypt that recovers prepared food from over 400 hotels a day. Can't tell you the amount of training and food safety issues that go into that, much less the logistics and the complication. There's no Good Samaritan protection there, but because of the kind of person he is, he's decided that that's unacceptable, and he's a hotelier. He's gone through extensive training, and now he's done it long enough that the government believes in him as a practitioner, and they haven't codified Good Samaritan protection, but as it relates to him, they're comfortable with his protocols and that he's doing that. So what an enormous opportunity we all have to recover prepared food from, think about it, commissaries, hotels, restaurants. If we could crack the code on food safety and logistics and training, there's an enormous amount of food out there.